if we're not identifying it clearly. Right. We got to name it. Got to name what it is. It's crouching at your door, so you know what kind of beast you're dealing with. Right. I've had a lot of help in my life naming the kind of beast at my doors. I need to have several people around me as a support system reminding me because it's not just a lion. There's a cougar out there. There's a viper out there. There's a little bug, a little poisonous spider out there. I've got big animals and little animals all lined up right outside my door, waiting to pounce. Yeah. And I need those reminders from inside the house. Don't open that door. Man, there's plenty to do in the house. The house is huge. The house is full of light. And there's so much to do for God. Don't go out that door. Yeah. But it's your choice. It is your choice. Man, we have this thing with the kids. We have a 7-year-old daughter, 5-year-old son. It is their choice whether or not they want to get into trouble. Yeah. I will not force them to do the right thing. I will allow them, and I will allow God to work through me to deliver consequences if they choose the wrong thing. But I will not mandate. I'll say, hey, here's what you're facing right now. You can make that choice, and you can disobey, and you can deal with the consequences. Or you can make this choice and obey. The choice is yours. I'll leave you alone for a minute. Cool. And sometimes they make the right choice. And sometimes they make the wrong choice. But you know, I'm just grateful that we have those conversations because they know what they're getting into. So here's what's behind door number 1. That's great. Open it at your own risk. That's great. And then they learn responsibility at a young age. And Cain learned responsibility as well. You know, I've always been fascinated by this great passage in the Bible that says, resist the devil and he will flee, James 4:7. And I was thinking about this animal crouching thing, crouching sin, hidden, I don't know. And I was thinking about a time we went on a camping trip with a bunch of the campus students out in Los Angeles, in the mountains of Los Angeles above, a little north in California. And we were out at Big Rock Creek. And we were there, and all the men, all the guys were staying in teepees, and all the women were inside like brick housing. And that was fine. We were cool with that. We'll be in the outdoors. It was cold at night. But we were like, yeah, we're going to band together, band of brothers, and the teepee is going to be great. And Ranger Bill had told us about the bears that sometimes come in. And we hadn't seen any in the first couple of days, like Ranger Bill, whatever. He's old, And he said, look, if you ever see the black bear, you want to actually make yourself as big as possible and just say, go away, bear. And I was asked, so can you clarify? Are we supposed to yell? No, just tell him, go away, bear, go away, bear. And I thought, I think he's just been here a long time, and he's 80, and it's fine. No bears so far in the first 2 days. So we were sleeping in our teepees one night, and we had done what we were supposed to do. We had brought food into the teepee, and that was, one of the things the bears are attracted to. And it must have been 2, 3 in the morning. We were kind of dozing off. We'd been talking for a while. And off one of the lights, I guess they had some lights scattered around the teepees. I could see a shadow of something move on the other side of the teepee. And I thought, oh, one of the guys in the other teepee is playing a trick, And so I woke up some of the guys, and we saw it a couple times. And we thought, hey, shh, and we'll bump we'll bump the side of the wall. And so the thing, the shadow came back, and so we kind of bumped it, and it was like, and it kind of moved back. And we all kind of looked at each other. That's not one of the guys. And then everyone was awake, and it got pretty scary. There was actually 2 bears, teenage bears, that were in the neighborhood that smelled the food and were like sniffing and rubbing up against the teepee, wanting to come in and eat the food. And so, long story short, we threw a little granola bar way out, and it kind of went after it. And then a few of us, we thought we would stay in the teepee. That would be the better idea, right? But we go to movies to see the person open the door, right? So we're like, we're going to go out there. Oh, no. Because we're men and we're in teepees. So I grabbed a flashlight. One guy grabbed a Swiss Army knife like 2 inches big. And we inched out. We're like, where'd the bears go? Turned out the bears had got into, there's like a food, it's kind of like a building, like a pavilion area, and it has a locked door. They broke the lock off the door and we're in like the food pantry area just going nuts, eating food. So we're like, we can't let that happen. That's all of our food. So we started getting, a little bit like brave, if that's what you want to call it. And so there were like 10 of us in the teepee, and we were inching towards the food pavilion, and I realized all of a sudden it was just Felix and me. We turned back, all the guys were back in the teepee. I said, Felix, are we going to do this? He said, I'll follow you. So we got within about 30 feet of that food pavilion, and we could see the eyes kind of look. And so the teenage bear kind of comes out. And I said, go away, bear. Okay, I think we did it. And then it came about 5 feet closer. So we put up our hands. Go away, bear. And this is where you sort of think, okay, I have a lot of life in front of me. I could try to be the hero, or I could just run. But bears are interesting creatures. If you run uphill, you're done, because they have the shorter front legs. If you run downhill, they might trip. You might have a better chance. But back to the teepee was a little uphill, so we were done. And I thought, what are we going to do? Because there's only one option. We have to believe that 80-year-old senile Ranger Bill. So we stood our ground, came a little closer, and we said, go away, bear! Go away, bear! Go. And we tried to be friendly like Ranger Bill was. And it worked! It was amazing! We stood our ground, and it went off, and then right in the bottom of the hills, we saw Mama Bear, which was twice the size as the teenage bear, which was about 500 pounds. Wow. And we thank Jesus, and we told the story for years and years after. Okay, so all you got to do is say no. That's the point. That's great. It says resist. Sometimes you don't have an army. Sometimes you don't have the right tools. That's awesome. Sometimes you don't have all the right things to say. You just got to resist. You just got to say, go away, bear. That's great. I'm not moving back. I'm scared. I got one buddy with me. Everyone else is back there. Sometimes I don't have anybody. But I'm standing my ground. That's right. And I might have a problem saying it with force, but I'm saying no. Right. I'm saying no. You got to ask yourself, what's your level of resistance been like for the sin and the danger at your door? Point number 3, and finally, there's always a way out. There's always a way out. Verse 8. Now Cain said to his brother Abel, let's go out in the field. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. That was that. Then the Lord said to Cain, where's your brother? I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? The Lord said, what have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me. The Hebrew sa'ach, the blood that cries from the ground. I can hear it loudly. Now you're under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood and from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You'll be a restless wanderer on the earth. You'll be separated from me. Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is more than I can bear. Today you're driving me from the land, and I'll be hidden from your presence. I'll be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. But, even in this, God offers some level of grace. The Lord said to him, not so. If anyone kills Cain, he'll suffer vengeance 7 times over. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who found him would kill him. So Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. We'll stop there. The shepherd and the farmer, they both were capable of offering great worship to God. Neither one of them was disadvantaged. One wasn't making like less of a paycheck. It wasn't the issue. Yeah, they were different. They had different qualities of their sacrifice, different gifts that they were given, different things that they had control over. But they both were able to give their heart completely. Yeah. So, this word minha in the Hebrew, minha, M-I-N-H-A, is the word for gift. You would have seen a different form of the noun of the Hebrew in the different sentences given to each brother if they had different qualities of worship. The point is, they both were able to give an acceptable and pleasing offering to God. Cain had a choice. His will was not predestined. He could have chosen to do right. And the most amazing thing about this, it's so interesting. Cain, he wears his heart on his sleeve, which I appreciate about Cain. That's sort of a good thing, right? Later on, the New Testament says, some people's sins trail way far back behind them. Others are just right there front and center. I think it's a little easier to deal with people right front and center. It's like, okay, this is what I got. This is my junk. And the others, they come in, and then 5 years later, you find out what's really going on. So he's really out there. He's very angry, it says. He says his face is downcast. And one person says he was scowling. Some of us, our natural default visage, our face, is scowl. Like, on the subway train, that's like natural default New York mode. Downcast, sad, angry, scowling, don't mess with me. And you can tell a lot by looking at someone's face. Some of us came in today angry. Prayerfully, your countenance has been softened by the word, but it's going to have to be an inside-out kind of decision. It's what a counselor friend of mine in Los Angeles calls the gray zone of emotion. We can get angry, we get upset about stuff, we get frustrated, and there's that moment where we're feeling stuff inside, but we haven't decided to do something about it yet. We haven't formulated an opinion, we haven't sinned, we haven't decided to do what's right or wrong. We're in that gray zone of emotion. Because emotion is just emotion. It's just feelings. They're neutral. It's like money. You can use money for good, you can use money for bad. Emotions are the same way. Yeah. So here we are in the gray zone of emotion. He's upset. He feels like, man, I'm feeling upset right now, I'm not sure what to do with it. But he picks what he's going to do, right? Because God gives him a chance to do the right thing. Look at all the different chances Cain actually has. In the original offering, Cain had a chance, right? He could have given more. He could have given his heart. It wasn't a quantity issue, it was a quality issue, but he didn't. Then, he gets another chance when God isn't pleased with the sacrifice, and this is just one of those things, hey, I didn't like the way that went down, so you can be different now. So there's another chance that he gets. And then what's the next chance? Well, God confronts him about his attitude. Oh, you're upset now. Alright, so what are you going to do now? Why? Why are you feeling angry? What's the issue? He gives him an opportunity there. Well, you know what? I'm just really mad about, you not being pleased, and I just feel a little ashamed and embarrassed. I should have done the right thing. You know what? Let me repent. He could have had a chance to do it. And then he has another chance when Abel and him